So those so those last body cam videos, they were so popular. I got a list of some of the gruesomest, most horrifying body cam videos we could find. My friend Jeff said this one's really horrific.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, let's go.
They were traumatized.
We should say the title.
Because they were covered in
Elevator crushes tour guide to death in
1,000-foot descent into a historic gold mine becomes a waking nightmare, leaving tourists helplessly trapped underground. The following footage has never been seen before. In Cripple Creek, Colorado, on the afternoon of October 10th, 2024, an elevator carrying men, women, and children began its descent into the Molly Kathleen Gold Mine for its third tour of the day. But halfway
what are they
down
thinking?
and
They're just doing a
500 feet
mine,
below the surface.
mine.
The elevator
Well,
ground
yeah.
to a sudden halt.
No, when you don't have
No one
any
on the
other
surface knew what
touristy
had
things in the
happened
area to
until
bring
a
people
woman
in.
began screaming from
You
the
just
depths.
kind of like, hey, we
She
have an
emerged
old
from the
mine.
shaft after
Like,
climbing the ladder
this is
lining its
100
walls,
years old.
physically exhausted,
Yeah, it's
claiming that
old
someone
timey.
was dead.
Oh,
After a
geez.
911 call, deputies quickly arrived to assess the situation.
How many tracks? And they will be with the
Well, you got 11 at 500 feet, and then there's another group at 1,000 feet.
How many do we know down
We think it's going to be 25 total. And then you got one confirmed deceased made at 500 feet. He's now off the top. He was an employee. Yeah, he's at the yacht.
Yeah.
The deceased employee is later identified as the group's tour guide, 46-year-old Patrick
What
Walter
did he do?
Wire.
He fell off the side?
Though the deputies assumed that
Well,
he fell from the shaft's
said
opening,
that he was
Patrick
crushed.
was actually inside the elevator with the tour group at the time of their descent. What led to his death is far more horrifying than a fall, and witness accounts will soon paint a terrifying picture of his final moments. For now, nearly a dozen tourists, including 2 young children, remain trapped with his body beneath the surface.
Who's this girl that's sitting over?
Did you ever do a mine shaft like this?
They call
Steven?
I never thought about it, but I'm far less likely now.
in the
Because
basket.
they're definitely using old mine
The
shaft
manager of the
equipment.
mine is currently down below, helping the hoist operator as the elevator is slowly raised 100 feet at a time. The shaft is almost completely dark, and with no way of knowing what will emerge from below, rescuers hang a white sheet around the loading bay to shield bystanders from a sight that could leave them forever scarred. The single
that's
sheet,
why they're all
however,
hanging out.
won't be enough to protect anyone from what they're about to see. As the elevator nears the surface, rescue workers brace for the possibility that the freed tourists will panic.
So if this gets chaotic, everybody, Chris is going to tell people not to step over this edge. That's
25 to 30 feet.
Terry, everything else goes through Terry.
You guys should be able to see it now.
So don't listen to me, don't listen to cops, don't listen to whatever. Just do what Terry says so we can trust people.
We got it. We
So
got people in the basket.
at least they had some form of emergency way to retrieve the elevator.
Yeah.
Because I was imagining there was no way to get the elevator out of the ground. Like the line snapped.
These are heavy.
Well, out in the middle of nowhere, there's probably not a huge amount of people that could
The
be
tourists that
summoned
emerge from
immediately.
the lower compartment are in a shocking state, with their clothes and hard hats soaked in blood. Those in the upper level must wait for their turn to exit, and it quickly becomes clear why there's panic in their voices.
We're gonna get you. Hold on. It's okay. Hold on.
Everybody's clear from the bottom basket.
We got more up. 5 up there.
So what happened? Like they'll tell us later, like the brake or the line snapped or something awful. And it's a touristy thing now, but there used to be men just lower down these things.
Right. Yeah, this was their only way to get down there.
Yeah.
And now people go down there for tours.
I'm guessing that he got squished and like a grape. Everyone got squirted with water from everywhere, like a water balloon.
Once the tourists are out, all that remains in the upper compartment is the mangled body of Patrick Wire, his twisted, broken form pointing
So
to
what,
an
everyone else was
unimaginably
okay, and
horrific
just that
death.
one guy fell
Yeah.
in
What's
there?
even more chilling is the fact that he was in the lower compartment when the elevator began its descent. Not yet aware of what caused his demise and unclear on the safety of the elevator, Deputies are now left with the realization that there's a second group of tourists still in the mine 1,000 feet below, with no way to bring them out.
Trent is still down there with the whole other group. Trent's probably going down by ladder because he went to the 500 level to get this up.
Okay, so this did fall. What's the deal with that? That's what we were told.
He's the
Let's
horseman.
put him in, let's do a stove.
He don't know what happened. He said there's a loud bang,
So we can get him out of this.
so it was stopped.
As news of a tragedy at the mine starts to spread, Patrick's loved ones begin frantic attempts to call and text, unaware of what happened to him. But as the witnesses are far
So
too
his phone was
traumatized
okay?
to coherently explain, first responders are left
He
with
left
only
it up top,
pieces
I
of the
think.
full story.
Okay.
I knew that there was something to separate that pocket. So
I'm not sure. There's a finger on these doors or the two.
So there's a second group, still 1,000 feet down. They said that there's no way.
The doors to
For
each
them to come
compartment are
back.
designed to be held in place by a metal latch, which prevents it from opening during the descent.
Remember
But
those
the door to the
Chilean
lower
miners who were
compartment has
stuck
been
down there
torn
for like
off
a month?
completely.
Yeah.
So the initial
Lots of protein bars.
One of the first guys in the elevator. Did she go to more conversation taking place? It sounds like a low that he was in the upper escalator. Yeah, he was in the upper basement with 5 other people. He was deceased. The lower basketballs were like 4 or 5 people to 4 and they were traumatized because they were covered in for what 20 minutes.
and these are the doors that came off his elevator. Yeah,
I think on the lower elevator.
But it wasn't until the witnesses are able to calmly recount the terrifying ordeal that the truth of what happened finally falls into place.
Here we go.
As the
Yeah.
tour began, 7 people, including 2 children, were loaded into the upper compartment. It was then raised, allowing the remaining tourists to enter the lower section. Many noticed that it was cramped inside when Patrick himself got on, and that he struggled to close the door, attempting and failing several times. A woman suggested that Patrick try to reload the carts as there was more room in the compartment above them. But by her account, he ignored the concerns. Eventually, Patrick managed to close the door and signaled to the hoist operator to begin their descent. But due to how packed it was in the lower compartment, the latch wasn't properly secured, causing the door to catch on the wall of the mine shaft at around 500 feet, where it began ripping from the frame and scraping along the wall. Witnesses recall hearing Patrick begin to shout, "I can't stop it, oh. Patrick then reached for the bell that would signal the hoist operator to stop the elevator, ringing it several times. But as he did so, he fell, his body slipping into the small space between the wooden wall and the elevator's frame.
All he had to
His
do was
body
just stay on the
ricocheted,
elevator.
and as the
I don't
elevator
know.
continued
He
moving
was trying to-
downward, he was dragged upward along the wall. As a result,
God, he
Patrick suffered catastrophic
he got
injuries,
rolled like a
including severe
cigarette
trauma to the back of his head,
along the wall.
a crushed
Why would
rib
you
cage,
even-
detached
why did he
heart,
go
severed
outside of it?
spleen, and a
The
broken
door was
neck.
open, but why would
No
you?
one could remember
like
hearing
I said,
Patrick's
there's like
scream,
7-8 people
leading
on
them
the,
to
or
assume
too
his
many
death
people,
was
and Americans
instant.
are fat as hell.
But
So
while the traumatic moment
when we
ended quickly
panic,
for
we start
Patrick,
pushing. I guess
it was only beginning for those
Or
still
just
trapped
even-
inside.
He was reaching for
As the
something
elevator
outside.
continued
And then
to
he got
descend
caught,
and
yeah.
Patrick was dragged upward, his body was forced into the upper compartment, landing on a helpless woman and knocking her to the ground.
Oh God! So he got
But
ground
in the
up
pitch black
and then
darkness of the
squeezed into the
shaft,
top.
no one was aware of what had pinned her down. Several tourists pulled out their cell phones to use as flashlights, and in a moment of pure horror, they clearly saw the brutalized body of their tour guide.
I wouldn't turn my
The
light
2
on.
children began to panic, with one asking their dad to check if he was okay, but it was clear that Patrick was deceased. Those in the compartment below
quick.
had no idea what happened and began to shout, saying the tour guide had gone missing. The children's mother eerily explained, "He's in here." Though her words left them confused, the truth of her statement would quickly become apparent to everyone below, as blood from Patrick's body began seeping through the floor, raining onto their hard hats and soaking their faces and
We
clothes.
should have put a warning in
With
front
no
of this
cell
one.
service to call 911,
See,
3
that
women
tour
from
that
the
day
upper level
got a
began to
1-star
climb the ladder
review.
lining the shaft to reach the surface and find help. Those who were left behind, including the 2 children, remained trapped with Patrick's body until their rescue. Many of the tourists were taken to the hospital for
God, that
treatment
was-
after suffering injuries during the ordeal.
That was a
including the
long
woman who
elevator
was
ride
pinned by
back up.
Patrick's lifeless body. The cause of the accident was ultimately determined to be operator error, and after Patrick's body was removed from the elevator, it was deemed safe to use, allowing rescuers to bring the second tour group to the surface.
Okay,
And
so
a horrible thing to be on vacation.
So
Although the
everybody
mine
was
passed
okay,
the safety and compliance inspection
Except
in
for the guy that
December of
worked there.
Except for some blood all
2024,
over
clearing
them
it to reopen,
and
the
traumatized
Molly
for life.
Kathleen Mine remains closed
yeah,
to tourists
'cause
for
the
the foreseeable future.
pulverized.
Its
and then
website now
dropped in
thanks
the
visitors for the many
upstairs
years
one
they
with the
allowed them to
kids.
share Colorado history. As 46-year-old Patrick Wire was a former United States Airman, a memorial procession was held in downtown Cripple Creek to honor his life and service. A GoFundMe established by Patrick's brother
Don't mess
raised
around
over
with stuff like that,
$74,000,
No,
funds
You
dedicated to
gotta
supporting the
treat it
future
life or
of
death
Patrick's
situation,
7-year-old
you know?
son. Watch our full
Any
videos
elevator.
as they
Who
were
wants any-
originally
you get
made,
trapped
with
on an
no
elevator
randomly
and
muted
not take it
words or
serious.
details cut. We've also dropped
yeah, that was I just definitely I feel for the guy who got pulverized to death, and then you got to think about the children who can, yes, being able to manipulate your parents on hey kids, let's do this thing. Remember what happened the last time you had an idea? But it's still pretty messed up.
Yes, that was a horrific story, and nothing.
Again, thank you, Jeff, for the.
Why do people like watching this? Is my question.
I don't know. I'll admit, I watched the cave diving stuff. You ever watch the cave diving?
No, what's that?
So there's something called spelunking, where
Mhm.
you take your scuba gear and you go into caves that like people find.
Yeah. That's like adventure. Yeah, you're going into dark caves looking for treasure, looking for animals or whatever.
There's never treasure. Sometimes there's dead animals.
Yeah.
And you're also
Just
more
never
likely to
treasure.
find, more likely than treasure is other scuba divers that have drowned to death, because the problem is that you panic. It's so easy, one hit of adrenaline and all of a sudden you're kicking up all this silt. You get completely lost. There's no way out. You only have an hour of oxygen, and you start hyperventilating, and you panic and you die. And then people will like go, oh, I found his body, but I didn't have enough air to go get him this time. Then they go down to get him, and then they die. And then recovering one body turns into recovering 5 sometimes. It's crazy, some of those spelunking videos. So yes, this is a whole genre of morbid.
I'd watch those. I'd watch those with you, but what I was gonna say, it's like a point of view from the divers who's down there with a light on it, and you're kind of like seeing it.
No, it's just a story. You
you just hear the story about it. You
get the narrator telling you, oh, this guy, he was trying to dive,
right,
and then he died because of these errors. And then the next guy, this is from so many videos, but the last one I watched, then this other guy who went to the same dive, found the body, didn't have time to recover it, made a whole point of like researching and finding out who died there, and then like contacted the parents, and then he made an effort to go get him. Then he died, and then other
sounds
people,
like they try to like top each other, like however many,
and there's a lot of goodwill. It's like, hey, I found your son's body. Let's get you some closure.
Recover the body.
And then they die. And then that person dies. Yeah. This happens so often in body recovery. And you know what? I watch it because I have no intention on ever fucking doing it. All right, do you want to go on a cave tour now?
No, I would stay away from that, and I don't like scuba diving anymore. Would you still scuba dive?
In an easy area to do it.
Right.
Super amateur, where other scuba divers aren't going to respect me. That's as far as I'm taking it.
Even that, I mean, I feel like it's something bad could happen just by being attached to that equipment.
The bends, man.
Yeah, thousands or 100 feet under.
So on this, there's everybody's got to have, obviously it looks like they're out in the middle of nowhere. I've never heard of this place. There's no cities. There's no nothing going on. Just forests and open land. So they have an old mine that they could generate a little bit of revenue coming into the area. And then one of their guys gets pulverized to death. And this is the only reason I know about Cripple Creek.
It's got to be like a cool scene down there, but I mean, this was they probably had to shut it all down after this.
No, well, they said at the end that obviously the state comes in, inspects it for safety, and then they go, okay, change this one thing and you're good, kind of thing. So it reopened in 2024. Oh, wow. And it seems like in a way, it seems like a cool retirement job, until you get pulverized to death and thrown into the presence of children to get fucked up.
All right, let's go watch another one.
All right, let's go traumatize people with another video.
If you like this video, subscribe to our channel. We're going to be making a bunch of these, and like and subscribe, comment, let us know what you'd like to see us react to, and thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you for watching, everybody.